Today we're making a Spanish omelet, also known as a tortilla. And unlike its distant Mexican cousin, usually made of flour or corn, this Spanish tortilla has eggs, potatoes, onions, and a few other household ingredients we typically have lying around. It's so easy and so delicious. So to start, I'm peeling 2 potatoes here, and if you don't know how to peel potatoes, well, I'm sorry I can't help you, but you can do it. And slice up an onion as well.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Oh, they make you cry?
No.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No. Layers. Onions have layers.
And just like ogres, the layers of these onions are going to add layers of depth and flavor to our dish. And when cutting up the potato, I'm just removing those little knobby ends so everything is sort of the same size when I slice it all up, and that helps everything cook evenly. And for the meantime, we don't really need these right now, so kind of let those onions and potatoes get to know each other as you add some oil and heat up your skillet.
Is that enough?
Much more. Baste me like a chicken.
And I know it looks like a lot, but it's only about a 1/4 inch of olive oil, and you're frying up a lot here. So once everything starts heating up, test the temperature with 1 potato to see if it bubbles.
You'll never take me alive, coppers! No, Johnny, don't go!
And once bubbling gently and you've caught the fugitive, go ahead and add in the rest of your potatoes and onions, or as much as you can fit in your pan. And if you can do it all at once, congrats, I hate you. But I'm frying in batches here, so this is my second batch, and once everything starts looking nice and golden brown, but not crispy, go ahead and throw it into your paper towel lined plate. This is just gonna help remove some of that excess grease. And once everything is sort of patted down, hit it with some invisible salt because it was so bright in my kitchen and I'm so bad at editing I couldn't fix it. And add some pepper as well.
Look at the flick of the wrist. The flick of the wrist.
And at this point we can get our eggs ready, and we sort of held off on this step until now because sometimes if you leave beaten eggs for too long, they'll lose some of their fluffiness. And once everything is sort of blended up over there, take the pan you're gonna cook your tortilla in and hit it with some oil. And now we're gonna add in about 1/3 of those potatoes and onions overall. This just creates a nice layer in the bottom, keeps everything sealed in, and when we eventually flip it out, it's gonna hopefully look pretty nice on top. And once the potatoes and onions are sort of warmed through, you can add in all of your eggs and the remaining potatoes and onions. Just be careful when adding in that last bit there and giving it a gentle mix so you don't disturb that bottom layer you've been carefully cultivating. We'll let this cook for about 15 minutes or 2/3 of the way through, and every once in a while we'll just run a spatula around the end to make sure nothing's sticking and to help those eggs hit the bottom of the pan. And now the moment that you've all been waiting for, and the scariest moment, the flip. You can do this with 2 identical skillets, but I don't have that, so instead I'm just using a plate so I can slide out the tortilla, add a little more oil to my pan, and sort of just lock it in and attempt to flip off screen as I ruin my stove. And after a quick pit stop, I'm going to throw on an oven mitt because, well, you know.
First.
That's right, and this should be done after 5 minutes. So I'm going to take the same plate, put it on top of my pan, 1 hand on top of the plate, 1 in the pan, give it a flip, and don't be afraid, this one is much easier, and look at that, you should be sitting pretty. Now I'm just slicing up some bread here because, well, I kind of eat bread with everything, so don't judge me, and cutting up a little triangle portion here. This could serve about 3 to 4 people, depending on how hungry you are. And now just for a little extra pop and flavor, I'm slicing up some scallions, or green onions, or spring onions, tomato. And once the grace of God's hand has blessed your garnish, you're ready to serve. I also like to have mine with a little mayo on the side, or aioli if you're fancy. And I just want to say thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you following along. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, cheers.